Close your eyes and listen. There are no rushed alarm clocks. Dawn in the Yaita Valley in northern Tanzania is awakened only by the gentle whistling wind, the lingering scent of old smoke, and the very faint sound of bare feet stepping on the hard, dry ground. The Hadzabe begin their day even before the sun rises, completely without schedules, time pressure, or any predetermined plans. In the modern world, we are always taught that progress means knowing how to manage time, constantly planning, and preparing for the distant future. We relentlessly race forward, only to be constantly left with a feeling of exhaustion and panic. In contrast, the Hadzabe do not store food for distant seasons, do not use clocks to measure their lives, and have no place for excess needs. Despite living a seemingly unplanned life according to our civilized standards, this community has endured resiliently for tens of thousands of years, since long before the pyramids were built, without ever collapsing or losing their true selves. This quiet contrast forces us to pause and ask ourselves, when you turn off all digital algorithms and take off the watch on your wrist, what truly remains? Could it be that our glamorous civilization is exhausting us by distancing us from our original instincts, and that these people living in harmony with nature are the true answer for the future, the ones who are genuinely living the most fulfilling life? Let's follow the hunters deep into the savannah, where there is only silent eye contact and an instinctive understanding between humans and nature. The journey of the Hadzabe contains no bloody life-or-death encounters or dramatic roaring meant to show off strength. Upon spotting the slide marks of a crocodile in the mud, or encountering the looming presence of an African buffalo and a giant elephant, they pause, read the situation, and proactively, gently change direction. To them, these large animals are not prey, but the moving memory of the forest. a presence reminding them that power in this world does not belong solely to humans. The Hadzabe step back, not out of fear, but because they understand the boundary between life and death, and have absolutely no need to prove themselves to nature. In contrast to modern humans, who are constantly obsessed with conquering and dominating, the survival intelligence of this tribe lies in the art of avoidance. They clearly recognize that not all strength needs to be proven, and not everything encountered in the forest needs to be taken. Amidst a fast-paced life that constantly urges us to rush forward and win, the Hadzabe leave behind a deeply healing lesson. The greatest courage of a human being sometimes does not lie in the desire to conquer everything, but in clearly knowing one's own limits, knowing when to stop, and stepping back.
Omakukua ba? Omakone na hiko, omakone na hiko. Akata mo hiko.
The bowstring tightens and the arrow pierces the wind with a decisive, silent motion, like a leaf touching the ground, immediately returning absolute silence to the wild forest. Unlike modern humans, who often show off their strength or cheer in celebration when reaching a goal, the moment the prey falls for the Hadzabe happens in complete silence. In this world, Hunting is not a heroic victory or a personal achievement meant to satisfy pride, and it is certainly not entertainment. When the hunter carefully lifts the animal with both hands, there is no loud excitement, but only a brief pause like an unspoken thank you. It is the moment they bow to acknowledge the inevitable transition of all things. One life has just given way so that other lives can continue, no more, no less. They retrieve the arrow and quietly leave with deep gratitude for having just enough food to help the community get through the day. While we constantly exhaust ourselves in the pursuit of dominance and taking as much as possible, the quiet philosophy of the Hadzabe reminds us of an entirely different definition of success. Success, sometimes, is not about resounding applause, but simply about sustaining life, understanding limits, and knowing how to bow in appreciation of the simple things that nourish us.
Akane moto lo na kwe ba mi tiki tena kwe. But of tiki yeso. Lami.
Let your mind settle in a space where there is only the crackling sound of dry branches burning, blending with the sizzling of animal fat dripping onto the glowing red embers. As dusk falls, the survival picture of the Hadzabe emerges through the image of them gathering to share roasted meat or chunks of honeycomb flowing golden, warm, and slow. They climb giant tree trunks barehanded, willing to accept the pain of bee stings in exchange for the purest source of energy for the community, and then calmly leave the remainder for the forest. Among them, there are absolutely no plates or elaborate cookware. Food is simply passed hand to hand with reverence. Here, we witness a profound contrast to the modern world. We accumulate countless possessions and live in abundance, yet we are frequently panicked, exhausted, and isolated in lonely meals. In contrast, the Hadzabe have no personal property. No one tries to keep the best pieces for themselves. Absolutely no one eats first, and no one ever has to eat alone. Life energy is evenly distributed not by forced rules, but because this is how they have always lived since the dawn of time. For them, food goes far beyond the ordinary meaning of filling the stomach. It is a catalyst that reinforces trust, a bond that strengthens the community, and the clearest proof that existence is never an individual matter. In the philosophy of enough, sharing is not to show off, but is the very breath that allows everyone to continue living together.
Pola amotsoko amanato no akupia akwaso saati ema ono tie no po si wala pina kweso ati no Tanzania ta igongo da kuba kele keta hama ko te amana ara akasume ama kuba kasume ama kwa lampu na vitatu Ini aku kayak mana kota tua biasa dota.
As dusk falls, the low-lying Hadzabe camp settles into a peaceful quietness amidst the vast savanna. Bows and arrows, darkened by time, are simply placed on the ground instead of being hung high on display, because to them, tools of survival are purely meant to sustain life, not items to boast of achievements. Fully experiencing the rhythm of life with this primitive tribe does not give us dry lessons in technical hunting skills, but truly opens up a profound therapy for the bewildered minds of modern humans. We are living in a world full of excess, constantly consuming, yet rarely feeling the complete joy of living, always exhausting ourselves with the haunting question, how do we get more? In contrast, the Hadzabe have existed resiliently for tens of thousands of years, not because they desire to conquer nature, but because they deeply understand their own limits and always quietly ask, is this enough? Surviving the Hadzabe way is a journey back to the most ancient and enduring bond between humans and nature, a connection that the glamorous, civilized world seems to have long forgotten. Concluding a day completely absent of algorithms and ticking clocks, perhaps the most powerful thing that lingers in each of our minds is a quiet awakening. There are core values that heal the soul that we can only reach when we truly dare to slow down. Morning light spreads thinly across the cracked ground, creating pale streaks of color amidst the silent Tanzanian wilderness. They appear scattered across the vast open space, bare feet stepping firmly on the fine dust without making any unnecessary noise. Join us as we hold our breath and follow their every step, to see how survival instincts will rise powerfully when facing the hunter of the great forest. Their lives have no room for accumulation or modern machinery. Everything revolves around minimalist, survival, and deep gratitude for what Mother Earth has silently bestowed.
Beneath the shadow of an ancient baobab tree, they sit quietly in a small circle to prepare their mindset for the long journey ahead. A wooden bowl containing thick baobab juice is passed rhythmically between calloused hands, helping them recharge with pure energy from the wild forest. They drink in decisive gulps within an understanding silence, needing no words or complex signs. They begin to leave the camp, gradually scattering into the open space with a lowered center of gravity to blend into the vegetation. Each bare footstep is placed weightlessly, not even disturbing the layer of dry, decayed leaves covered in fine dust underfoot. The distance between members is maintained naturally, creating a unified formation full of the discipline of master hunters. Their breathing blends completely into the absolute silence of the sparse forest, where every sense is mobilized to perceive the smallest changes in the surrounding environment before entering the danger zone. The great forest breeze maintains a steady direction, and they automatically adjust their movement positions accordingly in a rhythmic manner. They keep their body scent from being carried forward by the wind to avoid disturbing the sensitive ears of the predators, hiding somewhere. The entire group glides softly like ghosts amidst the silvery gray hue of the wilderness, heading toward the open land where sunlight is spreading. This bond requires no verbal confirmation, but is built from absolute trust in comrades through countless life and death hunting seasons.
And even the snowy edges of the Himalayas. There are 9.
They suddenly stop at the same time, before a long and deep footprint imprinted on the moist mud, where the soil edges have not yet been eroded by sun and wind. Beside the footprint is a large patch of grass, flattened firmly in a decisive direction, leading straight toward the dense thickets ahead. The presence of sharp claw marks signals that this is not ordinary prey, but a formidable predator that has just crossed here. The surrounding air seems to compress, leaving only the light breathing of the hunters as they oiker a clear clue about the giant of the wilderness. One person in the group lowers their body, using bare fingertips to lightly brush the inside of the footprint to feel the remaining moisture and the temperature of the ground. The parched earth now becomes a survival library, full of precious information about the size and weight of the mighty creature that just passed by. These fragile details tell them the target just swept through here a few short minutes ago. Hope for a full meal begins to spark, urging the entire group to focus all their senses on this promising trail to fulfill their survival mission. The others spread out around to observe more closely details such as freshly turned soil or the wild, musky scent lingering in the damp breeze. Their ears listen to the buzzing of cicadas above the high canopy to filter out unusual small sounds coming from the bushes. They do not need words or complex signals, simply understanding through heavy breathing and eyes burning with alertness. Each member plays a role as an important link, together decoding the secrets that the wilderness is hiding behind ancient tree trunks. They move more slowly, placing their feet very carefully so as not to overlap old tracks or break the newly turned soil. Each sunken area or faint scratch on a tree root is linked by them into a continuous and logical path. The wind remains steady, helping them maintain an offset position so their body scent does not disperse forward where the predator might be lurking. This rhythmic coordination is the result of countless encounters with danger, helping them maintain a high state of readiness before precise signals from nature. The trail leads them through a maze of reeds taller than a person, where the stagnant smell of water clings tightly to every calloused fiber. They move close to one another, ears listening to every sound of decayed leaves being crushed under the weight of the massive creature lurking nearby. Each step is placed low and light to eliminate any possibility of noise. They follow the shadows of dry thorn bushes to approach. The wind blowing back toward them becomes a powerful ally helping hide the human scent, and they quickly adjust their direction to maintain their advantage. Their heartbeats pound in their chests, yet their bodies maintain perfect stillness, eyes glowing as they lock onto the smallest movements of the target ahead. Wooden bows are raised in a ready position, but the strings are not yet tightened to avoid creating any light reflection or small noise to alert the beast. Maintaining the combat position now is far more important than trying to take another risky step before the dangerous creature. Silence envelops them as they become an inseparable part of the bushes, patiently waiting for a single decisive moment. Thick tension envelops the entire formation as they lower their center of gravity and spread out to eliminate any excess sound. The ground seems to vibrate with tiny tremors from the massive body of the creature, moving slowly right ahead. They hold their position for a beat longer to ensure everything is under the most perfect control before deciding to launch the attack. Their ears listen to the sound of water, gently lapping against the rocks, whenever the creature shifts its heavy body, holding their breath, waiting for action. They come to a complete stop inside a narrow opening, surrounded by low bushes, where the soft howling wind creates a pressure-filled solitude. Their hands lift the dark poison-coated iron arrows, carefully checking the bowstrings and feathers, with extremely small movements. The wooden bows are test-pulled, creating a slight yet powerful crack sound. They take deep breaths to steady their minds and hold their weapons firmly in hand. They begin to lower themselves to the minimum, bare feet lightly pressing onto the parched earth to completely eliminate the rustling sound of weed grass covered in fine dust. They hide perfectly from the sharp eyes of the lurking leopard. Each forward step is calculated with extreme caution, as rhythmic as the breath of the great forest sinking into a suffocating stillness. The distance between the hunters and the brave beast is gradually narrowed, now measured only by the sobbing beats of the heart. Their eyes do not leave the target for a second. Having closed in on the target, they stop almost all movement. Wooden bows are raised in a ready position, but the strings are not yet drawn, to avoid any light reflection or noise from the ancient wood. Their heartbeats thrum in their chests, yet their bodies maintain absolute immobility, locked onto the smallest tail movement, or ear flick, of the predator. Holding the position now is more important than any risky forward step, for a small mistake could turn the hunt into a disaster. They hold their breath, waiting for the moment when the leopard fully reveals itself. Suddenly, the quiet space is torn apart by a murky growl coming from the thick bushes ahead, where the grass is violently torn up. The leopard seems to have caught the scent of the guests and begins aggressive movements, pushing the formation into a red alert. A heavy huff, huff sound echoes, forcing the hunters to stop completely to maintain a tight defense. The lone predator no longer hides but begins to charge wildly, creating a chaotic scene with dust and gravel flying everywhere amidst the sudden turmoil of the wild forest. Dust bursts under the lightning-fast leaps of the beast in a fury. The continuous roars making the boundary between life and death more fragile than ever. The smallest deviation could lead to a dangerous counterattack for the hunters directly facing death. They hold their position, with eyes burning with focus. No one breaks formation, despite the destructive danger. They understand that only absolute calm and unity will help them overcome the challenges. At this moment, they are an inseparable link in the cycle of maintaining a life full of hazards. In the moment the leopard fully reveals itself from the foliage, the sound of the bowstring tightening, creak, creak, is tiny, yet contains immense potential power. The wooden bows are stretched to the limit and then released simultaneously. Tearing through the morning mist as poison-tipped arrows surge away. No hesitation is permitted. Every factor from wind direction to distance converges precisely at a single impact point on the predator's body. Dust rises blindingly under the weight of the panicked beast, but their absolute precision has closed off all escape opportunities for the lone king. The leopard gradually fades after the final chaotic movements, returning the inherent quiet to the forest after the storm. They stand in silence for a long breath to feel the peace slowly enveloping the vast and mysterious wilderness of Tanzania once more. The grass ahead gradually settles again. They quietly approach and place rough hands on the still warm body of the creature that just fell with an attitude full of respect. A reverent thank you is whispered for a life sacrificed to maintain the survival of the community. There's no triumphant cheering or arrogance. They only show the composure of those who have just completed an important mission for their tribe. This is evident through the gesture of kneeling down respectfully. Harvesting begins with a slow rhythm, sharp blades gliding decisively, creating a steady schlick-schlick sound on the vibrantly patterned skin. They divide each part of the fresh meat on the spot to ensure not a bit is wasted during processing, to be brought back to the camp. Humility is evident before the gift of the wilderness. They ensure every part of the creature is utilized to the maximum for the collective survival goal of the tribe. They return to the camp and begin the familiar meat processing rhythm under the witness of the entire community, joyfully awaiting the hunting results. A large fire is lit with primitive skills, radiating a warm light that dispels the darkness surrounding the tribe's small camp. The sound of burning wood begins to crackle, blending with the rich aroma of grilled meat starting to spread, creating a warm and abundant gathering space in the middle of the old forest. The fire is lit as the light changes. Smoke drifts with the wind. Meat is processed on the spot. Hand movements become familiar and steady. There's no rush. No part is kept for individuals. Everything is shared equally. Sounds return with the light popping of the fire and the natural movements around. They sit in a circle around the flickering fire, together enjoying the fruits of a day lived fully under the protection of the Tanzanian wilderness. The sound of crisp meat being chewed blends into the understanding silence of people who have gone through countless life and death dangers together to have this meal. Eating together is not just recharging energy, but also a sacred social ritual that helps the community sustain itself through selfless sharing. Small sounds return, the wind, insects, and the fire blending together. No one moves much. No one stands still too long. Everything is kept at a minimum, enough to maintain a steady state, with no clear beginning or end, just the continuation of a familiar rhythm of life. When the food has been shared, the fire also fades, leaving only glowing embers popping, softly and intermittently amidst the vast silent space. Everything ends completely at the moment it occurs. The rhythm of activities slows down, leading them into a natural state of rest. With no preparation or accumulation for tomorrow. They lie back, steady breathing, dispelling the fatigue after the dramatic confrontation. Darkness covers all things, yet the warmth of community spirit still shines silently. Today's journey closes with the value of minimalist abundance, where true happiness lies in sharing and gratitude. Stories about the leopard hunt will still be retold by the dying embers, like an invisible link between generations of master hunters. Please click subscribe and follow the channel to continue accompanying us, exploring the resilient survival journeys and life values of the tribe in the next films. Hopefully, these stories will guide you back to find the connection with your original self. Dawn glides slowly across the surface of the swamp, thin light slipping through the low mist to reveal patches of dark mud still marked with old footprints and flattened streaks of grass not yet risen back. The space holds its lingering stillness, broken only by the faint sound of water touching the shore and scattered insects in the humid air. They stand in a loose line facing the water, no one making unnecessary movements, only slight tilts of the head to sense the wind drifting across the low reeds, carrying with it the cold, briny scent of something that has just left the water. One man steps forward half a pace, the tip of his arrow lowered, lightly touching the soft mud where a dragging mark curves in a heavy arc. They do not speak, yet their attention converges on a single point. Their eyes move slowly across each detail, from a footprint pressed deeper than usual to blades of grass pulled to one side. Everything is still fresh, not yet erased by the wind. In that prolonged silence, there is only the faint ripple of water rising and fading quickly, as if a movement has just slipped beneath the surface. They begin to move along the water's edge, maintaining even spacing. Each step is placed slowly and firmly, avoiding patches of soft mud that might produce sound. Bare feet touch the ground and lift again, leaving almost no new trace. The wind holds steady from the left, and they adjust their direction accordingly, so their scent does not drift toward the water. Their gaze never lingers too long away from the ground, continuously scanning old tracks, flattened grass, and sections of mud recently disturbed. A hand lifts slightly, and the entire group stops immediately. No call is made, only a practiced synchronization. Ahead, a cluster of low grass is bent in a direction that does not match the wind, and beside it lies a fresher drag mark. The mud still moist, not yet dried. They lower their bodies, the tips of their arrows gently parting the grass in front without revealing any large movement, only subtle shifts in posture. Near the water's edge, a faint sound emerges and disappears, enough to make them pause for a beat longer. The traces become clearer as they advance a few more steps. A long trail cuts across the mud, wide and deep, unlike that of any small animal. On both sides are footprints pressed heavily into the ground, spaced farther apart than usual, indicating a heavy body moving slowly, yet with certainty. The surrounding grass is swept aside, some stalks still bent and not yet dried. And at the water's edge, the mud is churned into a darker patch, where movement has taken place very recently. They pause longer, their eyes shifting from the drag marks to the water's surface, which appears still but not entirely calm. A faint ring of ripples spreads and fades, too subtle to make a clear sound, yet unmistakable. The wind remains unchanged, and they hold their positions, not moving forward, only adjusting their stance. The arrow tips rise slightly. Every motion is minimized, as if the space around them is tightening, and beneath the dark surface of the water, something remains present, without needing to reveal itself to be known. A flock of water birds bursts up from the edge of the swamp almost at once, not flying high but scattering low in multiple directions. Their wings beat rapidly, then fall silent just as quickly, leaving an unusual emptiness on the water. The group halts the moment it happens, heads tilting subtly in the direction the birds have gone. Their eyes lower toward the water ahead, where a strip of mud near the edge has just been lightly disturbed, its form unclear, no longer in its original state, and the nearby grass still trembles faintly, though the wind has not changed. They do not advance, only shift their positions in very small steps to maintain the wind's direction, ensuring their scent does not drift toward the area of recent movement. The water returns to a flat surface, but no longer as calm as before. Small ripples appear and vanish, without any clear pattern. In the prolonged silence, there is no sound strong enough to define anything, only the sense that something is very close, yet does not need to emerge to be perceived. They come to a full stop, the distance between each person widening slightly, forming a curved line embracing the water's edge. Each holds a different angle of view, yet remains part of the whole. The arrow tips rise slowly, not abrupt, yet without hesitation. Bare feet shift lightly onto firmer ground to avoid making noise, and the soft mud ahead is completely avoided. No one steps into a place where the ground might give way. A subtle shift passes through the entire group as they hold their position longer than usual. No one moves, yet their posture tightens, as if the space before them is gradually narrowing. Their eyes remain fixed on the dark surface of the water, where there is no clear sign, yet it is no longer neutral. In that stillness, the wind direction remains steady, but it is no longer the only thing being maintained. Every bit of attention converges on a single, unseen point. They begin to move closer, each step shorter and slower than before, placed down and held longer, as if testing the firmness of the ground before taking the next. The old footprints and flattened grass grow denser near the water's edge, no longer separated by gaps. Everything overlaps, suggesting repeated movement within the same area. The water ahead remains flat, offering no clear reflection, completely concealing whatever lies beneath. The distance tightens further, yet no one crosses the limit. They maintain their curved formation, each arrow tip shifting subtly with the slightest changes on the water's surface. A patch of mud near the edge compresses slowly, not from a step, but from a force beneath. And immediately after, A small ripple spreads outward, then halts abruptly, as if restrained, neither expanding nor fully disappearing. The water no longer holds its steady stillness. A dark mass moves just beneath the surface, slow yet more defined than before. It does not reveal its shape, but its size is unmistakable. They stop at once, neither retreating nor advancing. The arrow tips lift slightly higher. All attention is fixed on a single point. The tracks and grass around them are no longer observed. A dark portion of a back glides just beneath the surface and vanishes, this time leaving behind a wider ring of ripples that spreads slowly and heavily. There is no sound of impact, yet the pressure is clearly present in the space. They hold their ground, but their posture shifts, their weight leaning more forward. The distance between them and the water's edge remains unchanged, yet it no longer feels as safe as before, and any next movement could happen without warning. They remain still through a longer stretch of silence. No further movement comes from the water, no new sound emerges, yet that very silence makes everything heavier. The arrow tips hold their direction, neither lowered nor trembling. Bare feet press firmly into the ground. No one adjusts their position. The spacing remains fixed, as if even the smallest change could break the fragile balance being held. The water suddenly breaks in a strong, brief motion. Mud and water are flung upward in a low arc before falling back immediately. It does not last, but it is enough to reveal the exact position. In that instant, they react in unison. The arrow tips snap upward in the same direction. Their steps advance a short but decisive distance. There is no call, no hesitation, only a single coordinated movement, compact and forceful, before the water closes again, returning to stillness as if nothing had happened. A heavy body surfaces just beneath the water and then stops, no longer moving. They do not rush in immediately, but observe for a brief moment longer. The arrow tips lower slowly, no longer held in the same ready state. The wind continues to drift across, but it is no longer adjusted for. The space, once tense, begins to open again, leaving only the faint sound of water lapping against the shore, and the mud gradually settling back into place. They focus on processing the food right there on the spot. There is no clear division of roles, yet each person takes part in a familiar way. The portions are separated and placed into neat areas on the ground, not mixed together. What needs to be kept is set aside, and what is not needed is discarded immediately. Every action proceeds continuously. No step is repeated, no movement is adjusted multiple times. Each task is completed as it is performed, keeping the entire process seamless and uninterrupted. After the basic preparation is finished, they begin getting ready to use the food right there. A few dry branches are gathered from around the area and arranged into a small pile. The fire is started quickly and simply. The flame gradually forms, not too large, but enough to maintain steady heat. The food is placed directly over the fire or near the hot embers. There are no tools or fixed methods. The distance is constantly adjusted according to the heat. The surface changes color slowly, the outer layer gradually transforming as the smell spreads into the air. Throughout the process, the atmosphere remains natural. There are only brief exchanges, stretches of silence, and just enough attention to monitor the food over the fire. There is no haste, yet no unnecessary delay. Everything flows continuously, from preparation to cooking, with no clear boundary between stages. Just a smooth, simple, and steady progression. When the food reaches a suitable point, they begin taking it off without any signal. Those closest pick it up first and naturally pass portions to others nearby. There is no fixed order, no clear arrangement. The food does not remain in one place, but moves continuously among the group. Some begin eating as soon as it feels right, while others continue adjusting their portions over the fire. The rhythm is uneven, yet not disconnected. The food is broken into smaller pieces before being eaten, and almost always a portion is passed to someone else. There is no invitation or request. The action repeats naturally, like a habit long ingrained. The surrounding sounds grow softer. The earlier focus fades, replaced by simple reactions, brief exchanges, and comfortable silence. No one creates the atmosphere. It forms on its own. There are not many choices in the meal. What is available at that moment is everything.
The body is tired, but the mind feels more settled.
As the food gradually runs out, the rhythm of activity shifts. Some people stand up earlier and move lightly around the area, while others remain seated a bit longer. There is no clear moment of ending. The meal does not stop abruptly. It slows, thins out, and ends when there is nothing left to continue. The remaining fire burns gently, requiring little attention, and the surroundings retain the same simplicity as at the beginning. There is no clear sign that a significant activity has just taken place. Only a few small traces on the ground that will soon fade with time. The entire process, from beginning to end, is not divided into separate stages. Preparation, cooking, and eating unfold within the same space and rhythm. There is no emphasis, no distinct endpoint set apart.
Each person enjoys it.
For them, this is not a special moment that needs to be highlighted. It is simply a familiar part of the way they live, where everything happens at the right time, is fully used, and ends as naturally as it begins. When the water returns to stillness, all traces gradually disappear, the surface closing as if no movement had ever occurred. Yet that rhythm does not stop. It simply repeats in another way, in another place, with similar movements. If you want to continue following journeys like these, from lion hunts, baboon hunts, to other dangerous encounters, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next parts.
The battle is struggle. The Hadzabe hunters have finally brought down the river titan. The grueling task of carving through its thick, armored hide. The fresh meat entire tribe. This isn't just a meal, it's a hard-earned victory for survival.
Tumika kwa laka go ilang ngo akana be makate ame